the Democrats, right? Because, again, I'm not sure whose idea it was to let Biden come up on that panel and up on that stage in the first place, but they are in a full, and when I say full, I mean full-blown panic mode. Check it out.
Joe Biden's age, of course, was already a talking point before the debate. It was amplified as well, not just in a cognitive sense. Plenty of discussion online about this footage of the First Lady, Jill Biden, helping her 81-year-old.
He can't even walk down the stairs, y'all. He can't walk down the stairs. How you gonna swing a golf club? This man can't walk down this. He's being helped down by his handlers and his wife. Jill Biden is a hospice wife at this point. She's a hospice wife. Well, really, really great health care and really good benefits. Dr. Jill Biden is a hospice wife. Shout out to Greg Charlie. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly.
Your old husband off stage. You can see pretty small steps there, but having to be helped off. He clearly needed assistance to send those steps to greet the two CNN moderators after that. So I'm sure that'll be images played as well. Let's get more reactions. CNN reporter Julia Benbrook has been good enough to join us live. Julia, thank you very much for your time. I know it's late over there. First of all, how are people, the voters, reacting to tonight's debate performance?
Well, it will be interesting to see what the reaction is like tomorrow. These two candidates came into this debate essentially tied in nationwide polls. But we are hearing some reaction. There are some Democratic Party officials who have privately expressed concern about Biden's performance in this debate.
Hey, and shout out to the people that was saying what up, though, while I was vlogging early this morning on my way into the studio today.
Citing some of those more shaky moments that he had. There was an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris on CNN shortly after the debate where she said it's not about these 90 minutes. It's about the last 3.5 years and the work that their administration has done for the American people. But when
you talking about Kamala in charge, the czar of the borders that didn't do anything, forget all of this. We ain't trying to hear all of that. I might pull up a Kamala Harris interview. I didn't even know she was talking. But look, right after that, they did the walk of shame. They did the staged, oh, we're going to go to the Waffle House and go and see the people over in Atlanta right after that. Got the camera stage. Look at this guy.
How you doing? No, you spent too much time in the gym. I gotta go down this way first. That's true. I told you my daughter went to Tulane. Yeah, no. That's why she come home with some Cajun boy talking funny at me.
You know what I'll be watching a lot of times? And maybe it's just the way that I was raised. I'm watching a Secret Service agent the whole time. I watch the Secret Service agent because I look to see what his reactions are when he's shaking people's hand and stuff like that. I already know Joe is a Manchurian candidate, but I'm always looking at the Secret Service agent to see what his reactions are, where his eyes are going, who he's watching, who he's paying attention to. That's the thing that I look at most of the time.
Sure. Hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you.
Out here. Mr. President, how do you think you did tonight?
What we got now?
Look, they gave him some money in his hand. How does he even know what the amount is going to be? That's how staged this is. This is not real. This is not him really tapping into the people, y'all. It's so staged that he already had $20 in his hand and up his sleeve, like $20, $40 in his hand and up his sleeve to ultimately hand to the person. Look, back it up for a minute. Check it out. He already pulling the money out.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Got it in his hand.
Mr. President, how do you think you did tonight?
Look.
What we got now? We got an order here
Order for Biden. I don't have it. How do you think you did tonight?
How we doing today?
You have it?
I have your food ready.
Oh. Yo, this is insane, bro. You already got the, come on, man. Order for Biden. We called it in ahead of time. At the Waffle House. Stop, family. And we've all been to the Waffle House. That walk of shame at the Waffle House right after you just had a rough night. That's what I look at this as. This is symbolism. This is symbolism for having a rough night. I've had some very dark nights. Well, here, it's not the Waffle House here in Detroit. We go to the Coney Island. So usually if you have a rough night, let's say something happened at home, or maybe you got involved with the wrong chick and it didn't go as planned, or maybe you was at the casino and the bank ain't open for you to get no more money out, and so you got to take that long drive down the Lodge Freeway. You got to make a stop at the Coney Island or the Waffle House. This is what we call the walk of shame. The walk of shame. Nobody has ever ordered ahead, Keisha. Nobody has ever ordered ahead at the Waffle House. Oh!
Thanks, Tiffany. You're welcome. Wow. Trade off.
$40 tip.
Thank you.
They should be ashamed of themselves. Anyways, let's move over to Chuck Todd over at NBC News, because we want to get it from all news outlets so that we get a full view of exactly what the sentiment of the people is on the liberal side, on the conservative side, and then we go from there.
I want to get right over to our chief political analyst, NBC's Chuck Todd. Chuck, this was quite the debate for a variety of reasons. It was a debate unlike any other we've seen. I want to get your analysis immediately right after this debate and what it means.
Look, we began this conversation before this debate. You know, one of the things was, would either candidate look like the caricature that the other campaign has been trying to paint of him? And at the end of the day, Joe Biden looks like the caricature that conservative media has been painting. And there were no clips tonight, right? This was, you saw it before your eyes. Look, I don't want to just tell you what I think here, Tom. I've been talking to a lot of leaders in the Democratic Party, electeds, coalition leaders. There's a full-on panic about this performance. Not like, oh, this is recoverable. It is more of a, okay, he's got to step aside. There's a lot of that chatter. This is about as bad of a performance in order to that Biden could have delivered if his goal was to try to sort of calm the waters among Democrats. I mean, look, there was a poll just out earlier this week that showed, you know, a lot of Democrats, it's not just elected Democrats, rank and file Democrats, are both supportive of Biden but think he should not be seeking a second term. I have a feeling we're going to see more polling on this, and we're going to see that number even higher. But the panic level, particularly among elected Democrats who have to share the ballot with him, there's a full-on panic tonight. Maybe they'll get calmed down in the morning, but there's going to be there's a lot of chatter among donors tonight, a lot of chatter among major elected leaders tonight. Again, if the Biden campaign needs to, they have a lot of calming calls that they're going to have to start making, or they may see this get momentum publicly, and I don't know if they can stop that.
It's a steamroll right now. Sarah H. asked a really great question inside of the chat. She said, can the Democrats bring on a new candidate? That's the thing that I'm wondering. Because listen, if I'm the Trump administration, if I'm the Trump campaign advisor, if I'm the person that's on Trump's side, I'm salivating. I was looking at this debate as the best thing that could have ever happened. If there was ever a better opportunity for Trump to be able to sway voters' minds or capitalize off of what was going on, I had my homeboy here yesterday, and he was doing a Fox News interview yesterday. And so he came to the studio in order to be able to use our cameras and our microphones and stuff like that. And so shout out to my dog Lance. If there was ever a opportunity, a chess move, to move another piece off the board in order to knock off the king, this last night was it. I mean, Trump, it didn't matter whether CNN hosted it. It didn't matter if they muted mics. And I think that CNN did a great job. And so I'm going to talk about that in a minute because I got to be honest about it. If there was any better of a move that worked in the Republicans' favor, it happened last night. Because when you start talking about just a few months up to the election in November in 2024, what is this, June? Might as well say July, August, September, October, November. 4 months away from voting, and you're talking about, is it possible for us to bring in another candidate? When the Democratic National Convention and the Republicans already have their candidate 4 months away from voting, and people are questioning whether or not they need to be getting somebody else in office so that they can revise the ballots to have somebody else on there, and you don't have a clue who would be able to be on there in order to run. There was never a better opportunity for the Trump administration or the Trump campaign to be able to capitalize off of this, and they did it beautifully. I mean, this was really an art of war move. There has never been a better art of war move than this right here, right now. They should just concede. It should just be over. 100%, it should just be over. All of the moves that they set forth prior to this, all of the lawsuits and the Stormy Daniels and the 91 charges in Georgia and distracting and keeping them in New York so that he couldn't campaign, this upended everything. It just upended everything. Whatever it was that they was trying to do, it's over, bro.
Well, Chuck, and I want to ask you about that, because if you open up any news website right now and you see the headlines are exactly what you're talking about tonight. So if you're a Democratic voter, if you're somebody who's going to vote for this party, and now you're confused because you hear your party leaders are concerned as well, walk our viewers through what potentially could or could not happen. I mean, is he going to run no matter what? Is this conversation too early to have? And is there a process in place where Democrats can get together? And if he's not their guy, is there enough time to find somebody else?
Well, look, I mean, this was always one of the interesting timing of this debate was always that, oh, this is intriguing. The Biden campaign wants a debate before you pass the last exit for gas, meaning before the Democratic convention. If Joe Biden decides he does not want to seek this nomination, he can release all his delegates. And then it basically becomes an open convention. And we haven't had a real open convention really since 1952. So, and that becomes a whole, you'd probably have the vice president. You might have a couple of governors. You might have the home state governor in Illinois, who's the host of the convention, wanting to follow in the footsteps of an Illinois governor in 1952 who was able to gather that nomination in Adlai Stevenson when the convention decided to hand it to him. But it all begins with Joe Biden would have to agree to do this. And you don't walk away from these things. They're going to.
I don't see no candidates. Ash, you said potential replacements will be Gavin Newsom. California's in shambles. That would be the worst thing that you can do is nominate Gavin Newsom as the presidential candidate. Hillary Clinton? Man, ain't nobody rocking with Hillary. I don't see nobody. Who you gonna do? Michelle Obama? Kamala Harris? Listen, Trump is beating these people by himself. He ain't even nominated a vice presidential running mate. It's bad. It's just bad out here in these streets. Real talk. It's very, very bad, Ash. I can't think of anything that's worse than what's happening right now today. I've never seen this. I'm glad I'm living to witness this. I've never seen this before in my lifetime.